Thanks for joining me today. My name is Tanya from Tat & Taz Creates. Today I want to share with you a process video of this acrylic portrait that I have done of another of my favourite YouTube artists. I believe she's from Germany. Her name is Lioba Bruckner. My apologies if I have mispronounced your name. Let's get started. I begin by sketching in the basic shapes and marking in where the features go. I do this using the yellow ochre, and for the slightly darker I add a little bit of burnt sienna. I then block in the basic skin tones and putting in some shadows and creating the different values. My first tip in this video for new acrylic artists, particularly in portraiture, is don't be afraid to use dark values. With acrylics you can always let it dry and paint over it. My next tip is based on my experience with my student paints. I made an error with regards to the angle of her shoulder, and in order to paint over the mistake, I've used a darker blue to cover up the other colour. Now this, I'm sure, is probably just down to the fact it's student paints that I was using, and so I had to use a darker colour to cover up the mistake. Once I establish the under colour, then I can paint over with the lighter colour blue, and that establishes a bit of depth, and it becomes the sort of shadow area. You will see what I mean later on when I start to work on the background again. You may have noticed, as I was telling you the last tip, that I have gone over the eye area on a number of occasions, and this was because I was having a little bit of difficulty with the blending and getting the tonal values right, getting it dark enough, and then it was too dark, and then it was too light, and then the shape of the eyes wasn't quite right. So I just kept at it. I just kept going over it, and you will notice that the eyebrows have moved positions on a few occasions as well, and I just keep going over it until I get it right. That's me putting back in one of the eyebrows, then I put in the other one, and then you'll see me checking the angles again and again. I just wasn't quite happy with it, and then eventually it just seems to appear like magic that it changes just like that, and that's because I had changed the eyebrow off camera, so my apologies. My final tip for this video: when using acrylics to do portraiture, if you're not using a medium that extends the drying time of your acrylics, they are going to dry quickly, but they also dry slightly darker, and so if you go in to alter one little area, you may have to go over the larger area, so that you don't end up with strange patchy looking skin. Now that I've got the face to the stage where I'm reasonably happy with it, I'm moving on to the hair. Now the hair is, I'm putting in the under colours. I'm making sure that I've got the darker values in first. I've got a little bit of movement, and you can see that it starts off looking rather cartoonishy, but I keep at it. I keep doing the layers. I go from the hair onto the shirt or the blouse, and then back to the hair again. And once I've done that part to the hair, I actually leave it alone and I let it dry. And this is really so that I can see just exactly how dark the colours are going to dry, because I felt that in the beginning it was a lot darker than it should be. And now you can see what I was talking about earlier on, that I have gone in and gone over the background with a much lighter colour blue. I am now finishing off this portrait by finishing the blouse. Now I can honestly say that I am overall happy with the portrait, but I've also learnt a few things along the way and things I would do differently the next time round. Since filming this particular video, I have also bought professional acrylic paints and some glazing medium, so we'll see what happens from here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, give me the thumbs up, it helps to support this channel. If you haven't already done so and would like to, why don't you subscribe by clicking on my face that's about to pop up. Don't forget to click that bell so that you get notifications. Let me know in the comments what you thought and what you'd like to see in the future. I'd love to hear from you. Take care, bye for now.